Welcome everyone to the JK Podcast, the only podcast that's officially Team Sobble.
JK.
Yeah, we're Team Score Bunny.
JK. Wait, you don't have another option?
No, there's only two. This is the first. This is the first Pokemon generation with only two starters.
You're right.
There is no third.
I guess that means I have to pick Score Bunny, but the second I start the game, I'm gonna release it and then catch Grookey. I think that's my plan.
Yo, the name Grookey Gang is like the most perfect name ever for that Pokemon.
I mean, it's literally like the whole, isn't it like based off of that Gucci Gang thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I think so, yeah.
I'm Ken O'Connor.
I'm Josh Brandman.
And currently recording on June 5th, 2019 at 7:50 p.m. on the East Coast. This is the JK Podcast, episode 57.
That's right.
You always appreciate when I go for like the perfect on the dot recording
I do.
time.
So I purposely pulled up the time on my computer and I was watching it. Because it's got the seconds on it, so I was sitting there, I was like,
It's always in the corner of my screen, so I can always tell.
I was like, why is this man stalling? And then I saw like 57, 58. I was like, oh, okay.
I was debating, like, do I go for it? Like, it was just long enough where, like, it was going to be awkward either way.
Yeah, I feel very uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, this is our first episode since January? It's like 6 months ago?
Yeah, we're the biannual
podcasts.
Yeah.
Sad, but somewhat true.
Yikes. But we're here now. That's the most important part, Kenneth.
We are
you have
here.
to be thankful for the times that we spent together.
And this is the first time...
memories that we create.
This is the first time we haven't been live in, I think, like, forever.
I know, since episode, had to be at least, like, 3 years ago, so must have been, like, episode 52. I mean, oh my god.
Wait, when was our first... Now I'm interested. When was our first live episode?
Oh my god.
These
are the things that you shouldn't be looking at during
This is what you get for making a joke.
It's a crime to be funny.
Learn a lot. Okay, this is going to take too long. Never mind.
I win.
So this is the JK Podcast. We are back because...
Right. Anyway, yeah.
We are back because E3 begins in a couple days. Some could argue that it technically began today.
Well, only me and you are going to argue that. For everyone else, it'll probably maybe start
But
tomorrow.
The fact that, like, Pokemon Direct today, Stadia thing tomorrow,
I know.
And then Microsoft, like, kicks things off officially June 9th.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'd roll it together.
Fair enough. It's exciting times, Kenneth. It's always the exciting time of the year.
Is it, though?
Yes. Regardless of what you're going to ask about.
This is going to be a pure year of transition, I think. Like, it's weird because back when we got the PS4 and the Xbox One, like, the previous console cycle was so long that, like, it felt fitting that, okay, it's time to switch things up. But we got so used to that long gap of time that now these consoles are pretty much at the end of their lives, and it feels short, and no company is like, I don't know about you, but I don't feel, like, confident that these companies know what they're doing at this point, besides Nintendo.
Well, I would beg to differ on Microsoft's end, though I still have a bunch of questions.
Microsoft is doing some amazing stuff, very interesting directions. Just they're straying far away from, like, the traditional console experience, I feel like. Which
I don't think is bad, but
it's great.
That's also why I said I had a lot of questions, because it's like, so which are you kind of picking here? But I will get into that. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what we're going to do, what we normally do every year, right? We kind of go down, we talk about everything coming up through the whole, like, E3 kind of schedule, what we want to see, what's maybe been announced already, what's, I don't know what else. But, yeah, we'll talk about everything, right?
Things are leaking and, like, being announced left and right day after day.
True.
I was listening to a podcast, and, like, during the podcast, like, oh, this just got announced. Never mind that discussion we just had an hour ago about if this leak was true or not.
Right, yeah. And just to clarify, that was not the Muggle cast?
No, that was not MuggleCast.
Okay.
Where did that come from?
Man, I just think back to the days with your original iPhone and the podcast that you had listened to.
I still listen to MuggleCast, though.
See? Well, I don't know. You had the MuggleCast, you had the Heroes podcast.
Yep, that's true.
I don't know. You had a variety of other little something or other here or there.
Let's pull a Philip DeFranco and just jump right into this.
All right.
Woo! So today, time recording June 5th, Nintendo had their big Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct.
Can you say Nintendo, though? Is it really more... Actually, wait. Now thinking about it. On the Twitch... Did you watch it on Twitch today or YouTube?
I watched it on YouTube.
I guess either way. Where was it being streamed on? Like, what account?
Nintendo.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I know they do streams off of the Pokemon one.
They do.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Fine. So we'll call it Nintendo. But still
it's Game Freak. It's, you know,
Right.
we all know it makes Pokemon.
The Pokemon Company, you know, all that.
I don't think they're, like, gonna, like, try to, like, take credit for, like... I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, yes. So, Nintendo and Pokemon.
I just realized we haven't had a chance to really talk about Sword and Shield on the podcast.
Right. Which, honestly, I think is fine, just because literally all we knew beforehand was, hey, it's called Sword and Shield. Couple areas were shown, and then here's 3 starters, which, I mean, that already blew both of our minds. But aside from that, there actually wasn't, like, that much in terms of, like, substantive things, despite Game Explain, you know, maybe taking 5 hours worth of analysis in total. But
sometimes I'm impressed with the analysis they do of such little content. Sometimes it's like, you guys are really stretching now.
no, I agree. Sometimes it's, like, the most minimal, like, details and stuff where it's just, like, I respect it, but at the same time, like, do I really care that one tree is like that certain hue that might give away? Like, I'm like, oh my god. But
and sometimes it does. That's the sad part.
I know. But anyway, but yeah. So I mean, Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Where do you want to start with this? Like, I feel like we can just how about you just gush for a minute?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go frame by frame or anything. Unless we were literally doing, like, our own analysis video that you were going to put together with screenshots, but...
I mean, it would just be, like, a 30-minute video of, here's Wooloo. Look at the Wooloo. More Wooloo. Hey, look. Wooloo.
Yeah, you're going to just sit there and do, like, 5 zoom-ins and take, like, screenshots and, like, whatever.
Yo, I love Wooloo. So Wooloo is the new Pokemon. It's a sheep Pokemon. Normal type.
Yep.
It has 2 twin-tail braids in its front, the littlest horns, a little heart-shaped nose. Its Pokedex entry says that when it detects danger or conflict, it just falls to the ground and rolls away. And
that's the part I love the most. It rolls away. I'm like, what the heck?
And the best thing is, Wooloo copy the Pokemon and trainers around it, so if one Wooloo falls down and starts rolling away, they all mimic it and start rolling in herds together.
Right, the mimic thing, yeah. You know, I mean, not that all of them are really depicted accurately, especially in the game, but for these Pokédex entries. But I do love sometimes to then see the Pokemon once they make it to the anime to see how much they actually use from the Pokédex entry.
They do a fairly good job, too, from what I understand.
Well, I mean, they don't do like the whole... Well, actually, no...
They'll allude to the really weird, creepy stuff, but like...
Right, that's what I was saying. Like, you know, these Kadabra things where it's like, it used to be a kid or something. Like, whoa.
Kadabra.
But at the same time, you know, they talk about with those ghost Pokemon, like, stealing kids or whatever. And technically, that's even in Sun and Moon. There was a whole, like, stealing and them and going into the whole whatever. So, yeah, that's fair. So, I'm curious. If Ash catches a Wooloo, I think, like, you'll die and go to heaven or something. But, yeah, Wooloo is the man. But
I just instantly, like, the second I saw, like, I want it. Like, you know, it's technically discount like Mareep and Flaffy, but like...
Well, not necessarily, because, you know, it could be totally different use. You know, here's the one thing I was going to say, though, is because it is a normal type, which Mareep was already... Wasn't it just pure electric already?
I believe so, yeah.
So it is different already from that, but also... Actually, yeah, I think Mareep's literally the electric sheep Pokemon, and this is the sheep Pokemon. Anyway, It did reveal its at least two abilities. Maybe there's a hidden ability. I don't really know. But
Quick
what?
clarification: Mareep is the wool Pokemon.
Oh, interesting. Well, everyone says the electric sheep. I guess I just
Yeah,
whatever. Anyway,
Flaffy is wool as well, and then Ampharos becomes the light Pokemon.
huh? What's Mega Ampharos?
That's a good question.
No, I don't think they get a separate distinction.
Also the light, but yeah, also light Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think that ever changes. But anyway,
The
for
Mega Light
Wooloo-
Pokemon.
right? God, for Wooloo, the ability, one of the abilities is Fluffy though.
Yep.
And I mean, I guess I should have looked it up beforehand, but to my knowledge, that's the whole thing where, isn't it where it's like it takes reduced damage from certain things, but then fire is like more effective to it actually or something? Or am I just making that up? I thought that's what it was.
Sounds familiar. Let me look. I'll look up real quick.
I'll pull it up. I got it.
Fluffy was introduced in Gen.
It was a Gen 7
Yeah.
ability. Oh, that's what it, so it halves the damage takes it from direct contact moves. So
Oh yeah,
kinda
only Stuffle and Beware had this.
right. I remember because I really wanted a Beware on my team for that game. So I had looked into what ability and all that stuff, and I looked into Fluffy. So it's interesting. Direct contact moves, half the damage, but fire type moves, they're double the damage. So it's interesting. Like, it could actually be a good Pokemon if it retains that ability and it evolves into something like substantial.
Do you think this one? Do you think it evolves?
It would have to, right? Into more of like a
Like I can see the horns growing. I can see like the
Right.
braids getting longer.
right, but then also wouldn't that be weird if like a sheep evolves into like a goat? Like, you know, like, or it just had to be a bigger sheep, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, it just has to be like a bigger puffball.
It's like
I don't really
it's
know.
like Chopper's guard point form.
Actually, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is, I could see it then being almost like this kind of tank, like a certain type of tank on your team. If you want a couple tanks, like it wouldn't be your only tank for your team, but it'd be like one of maybe two or three. So,
It's so small too. It's only 2 feet tall and weighs 13 pounds.
well, if I've learned anything from those stupid height and weight, whatever, it's never accurate in anything, or it doesn't allude to anything at all. I don't know. It wasn't it like ferret is like, or ferret, whatever.
It's like
is
7 feet tall,
no, I think it's like 5'11", 6 foot.
something like that.
is like-
Charizard's very short, apparently.
Charizard's like 5'10", 5'11", so it's like, wait a second, they're the same height. But
On Tinder, he's 6 foot.
hey, you know, jeez, don't give away Charizard's secrets, you know. But
Charizard needs no help with the ladies.
actually, you're right. I mean, as it is, he's already the Pokemon of the new champion in the game.
Exactly.
Anyway, before I go all over the place, you said you wanted to hear my thoughts.
Oh yeah, sorry, Wooloo. Sorry.
Way to steal the entire thunder. All right, so my thoughts really quick. I mean, I was blown away. I mean, I just made it in time to tune into this thing.
That's right.
And I was sitting there glued to my phone, like looking at that thing. And it was just cool. And I mean, the more I look at it, and I sat there watching like reaction videos afterwards and just seeing how other people were approaching this or what they thought about it. And I mean, everyone was just like in love with it. And the more I watched the video like a million times, the graphics and stuff, it's really growing on me. Just, and it's crazy because I watched some of those like what we would hope to be in this game and the whole like some camera free controls, you know, whatever, all this kind of stuff. Pokemon in the overworld thing, but we didn't see any from the previous clip when they announced the game. And I was like, that's pretty hopeful, like wishful thinking. I'm like, I don't think so. And then I'm watching this thing, I'm like, oh my god, you know, it was just crazy.
When they started showing the wild areas and the Pokemon walking around, like, no, they
Right.
didn't. Because for a split second, it looked like Breath of the Wild, like
I know,
camera control, putting down like beacons of light in the sky, the Pokemon walking around. I was like, oh, they didn't.
I mean, but they partially did. You know, I think they really were inspired by Breath of the Wild and what people kept saying about open world, you know, whatever. Which it's crazy. Now, I'll get back to it later. I have a whole thing on the wild area thing and how it's actually just one area. But I'll get to that after. But I mean, overall, I was just blown away. The amount of features they threw into this game. I do think the whole like Dynamax thing is pretty gimmicky, but it is what it is. I mean, I thought Z moves were gimmicky too, and I survived. So, I'll deal with it. But overall, I just love the direction that this is going in. I love the graphics and everything, and just man, the art style, like for everything, is great.
Now, I remember when we first talked about it, you didn't like the art style. Has it grown?
I
on
know. Yeah, it really has. And I mean, seeing it more and seeing, the different things and seeing like the Pokemon designs, like that's also what I mean. Like the new Pokemon designs, like, like the Wooloo thing, like it's basic, sure. But it's like clean. It gets it gets right to the point. Like, you even have like the Raven Pokemon in the Corviknight.
Corviknight, yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's like in love with that thing. I think it's a little overrated because I think it's gonna basically just be Skarmory because it's not gonna evolve.
Oh, totally. It's basically Galar Skarmory.
Right, which that's not a bad thing. Like I love Skarmory for like competitive battling, but
I could totally see it having a pre-evolution though. Like his thing, like Knight is the highest rank you can be. So imagine like Corva, like not or like
name a chess piece quick.
Like Corva Squire, like the younger.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
gets the armor, it gets darker. I don't know.
I mean, I guess I was just thinking of in terms of like Skarmory, and Skarmory is just like a standalone.
Yep.
But you could treat it almost like a Honchkrow Murkrow situation, maybe.
I've seen a lot of fan art of Corviknight hanging out with Murkrow and whatnot.
Yeah,
because Corviknight's a raven and Honchkrow's a crow. And the two of them hand in hand.
Dark and evil.
Yeah.
No, but what's it called? It's just like all the designs of the Pokemon. Like I know people have some issues with Dreadnought, the water rock turtle, snapping turtle. But I mean, I like that too. I don't know. I was hoping that was like a dragon or something, but yeah.
He could change.
I mean, maybe, but
it mentioned his dex how like he eats through steel and rock. You can see him either getting a steel type later on or getting like a dragon type. Like the steel and rocket 8 made scales and now it's a dragon. Like I could see that.
But the scales thing is already the Komo-o and all that. Jangmo-o.
True.
I mean, just all the designs. Like I'm a huge fan of all of them. I know some people had issues with like the Gossifleur, but I have no issue with that.
I like Gossifleur. I don't like its evolved form that much.
Eldegoss. I kind of like that one the most because it reminds me of like this whole like I don't know person with a satchel on its back because it's got like the little scarf almost, and then it's got the huge like thing.
Oh, you're treating that like it has like it's carrying a big bag of stuff.
Yeah, kind of like
that's its head though.
Well, its head is underneath.
No. They said that's its head. That's its hair, pretty much.
Oh god, I didn't know it was a hat. It wasn't.
Because look at Gossifleur, the little thing, like the little hat she has, it blooms into that thing.
Oh yikes. All right. Well, either way, I'll keep the imagination.
I was messaging Tom from work when we saw Eldegoss. Like, yo, girl, where'd you get your hair did?
Actually, that's a great point. God. Also, wait, does he still work for your company?
He still works for Geico, just he works in corporate. Like down in DC.
Down under.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, interesting. Okay, so that changed my opinion a little bit. No, but either way, like, I just really like the artwork. Like, I feel like it looks... Now, I don't know, I didn't look too much into it, but did they have completely new, like, artists on this? Because I know, like, that guy, that, like, I guess French guy? Well, the like, Timmy Turner guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's the art director. He's a new director, but Ken Sugimori is still doing all this original art.
Okay, fair enough. But I think this new direction, honestly, like, I'm a fan. I mean...
I agree, yeah.
I get it, though. Also, I think it's a good idea, though, really, because if you're doing these different regions that are supposed to have different influence, you would think maybe you should get a different art director per region to kind of really have their own influence and their own flair, because they would maybe know that kind of style better.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So it made a lot of sense. I was really happy about it. And yeah, I'm just loving this game. Like I was telling you, like, to just wrap up my thoughts really quick, like general thoughts, like I was telling you that, like, I haven't played a Pokemon game like super, super aggressively since Pokemon X came out. And that was like already 2013. And I put in, like, literally on my save file, it's over 800 hours on that game, which is kind of nuts. Because then I was doing the math, 800 plus hours, like, equated to like days or whatever. That's like almost 34 days. That's over a month, like, straight, like, playing, technically, if you equate it like that, which is insane. But like, this seems like another one of those games where I'd put in so many hours because just all the different things you could do, it looks like. The fact that it's on the Switch, the portability, the online, the everything, the raid battles from Pokemon Go, essentially.
That okay? Can we talk about that for a split second?
Got the difference in weather, like, oh my god, what a game! So I'm very excited. Now we can talk about whatever.
The fact that the wild areas are fully open to 4-player exploration, so like you and me could be off in different quadrants of the wild area exploring, and like, yo, I found a Charizard. Put down a beacon, and you could like go chase after the beacon. And then
Is that how it works to put it down?
That's how I got from like the trailer. Like, it looked like the trainer like, oh, let's go there and put a light down. I can see that
because, well, I wasn't sure if there's basically two ways. I guess that makes sense. Or it was kind of like those are the designated spots, and then it's almost like if there's a chance for the raid, the thing lights up, and then you're like, oh, let's go to that one because it's lit up. And it just happened to be that like 3 or 4 were already lit up because they had to do 3 or 4.
Well, they stress that in the video, saying how like this new what's it called again? Dynamax. The new Dynamax phenomena only happens in very select areas. So every gym in Galar was built over a location where Dynamax can happen because it's part of the gym battles. So I think in the video when they're in the wild area, they get to like this like stone well kind of thing, where they all gather around, and that's where the battle starts. I bet there'll be several of those stone wells, and then like if you go to like, oh, if we go to the water stone well, we'll get a water raid. Here's a dragon like area, we'll get a dragon raid. And they said how the wild area like will be changing all the time due to the weather, time of day, and stuff like that. Because when we were watching that trailer, I thought like it looked like it was too many different areas, like too many different biomes to be all in that one middle section.
But it is.
It is. And that makes perfect sense. Because if that freezes over, then you have frozen lakes and snow. If you go
and then you see there's mountains on the side.
Yep. Which could be where the desert areas and mountain areas are.
It is just a shame that I mean, though we don't know the rest of the map on how it really plays out, which I'm fine with not having this whole free roaming thing in every single aspect, because I still want those mini little routes, those little pass-throughs, those couple pieces of grass over there. Like, I don't mind that at all.
I completely agree.
But this is also really cool. I kind of just wish almost that there were 2 or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe, like, there's a more beginning style one, and then there's, like, an end game style one, because I almost just fear... I mean, it depends how they do it, but I just fear that I'm hoping it evolves over time, essentially. Like, the things in there keep evolving and keep getting better and better as you progress. Almost like, oh, you have 4 badges now? Now, these Pokemon might start showing up. Maybe it won't tell you that, but internally, it kind of turns those things on.
Well, like, just looking at the map for Galar, I think that the view they gave us is, like, a really, like... I don't say a bad perspective, but, like, when we saw the videos of the trainers walking around the wildlands, it looked freakishly huge.
Oh, I agree.
Like, almost a region unto itself.
Right, but at the same time, you saw those, like, pillar kind of bridge train things or whatever in the back, which is on the map right smack in the middle.
True, but I don't think that, like, the view they're giving us is one-to-one.
Oh, 100%. No, I think, like, the gaps between the lakes, like, there's definitive, like, room. Yeah. I think there's a lot of room.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping the way that they do it with levels and rarity of Pokemon, like, it scales. I don't know how else you would do it.
I think it's going to depend. It's going to depend on how many of the raid bosses you beat.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
So the way they describe it is after you beat, let's say like you beat a Sneasel raid boss, Sneasel will appear randomly in the wild area, like walking around.
Right.
So higher level Pokemon won't
Right.
show up until you beat higher
them,
level
which
raids.
you'd have to be further into the game to even beat them anyway.
Exactly. And I think it's like a thing like let's say you beat like a Charizard. After you beat a Charizard, other like you might see Charmander around. You might see like
Right.
like things that go with the Pokemon, and that's how it scales.
Right. You just wonder how many options you can actually have in that area.
Or they could just be like the badges. Like, oh, you have 10 badges? Great. The area is now more dangerous.
Like you said, 10 badges. But
well,
if
you count the areas on the map.
I know. That is true. But, I mean, they haven't said anything. So, you know, they did say gym leaders, but they didn't say how many. So, yeah, it's just really interesting. I'm very fascinated by that. I really do like that. I mean, I also just love the fact that the overworld Pokemon or whatever from Let's Go essentially is all throughout this game, whether or not it's in the wild area or it's just on a route.
Well, that's the thing. In some routes, you can see them walking around. Not all of them, and not all the time, but on occasion.
Well, the thing is, it's also some of the Pokemon may be still hidden in the grass, and then you'll just get an exclamation kind of thing, which I like that kind of half and half.
Did you see the thing about running away from Pokemon?
No.
If you run away from Pokemon, some Pokemon will chase after you.
Oh, yes.
So if you run away from like a Pikachu and then like you go back onto the overworld out of the battle screen, that Pikachu will still keep chasing after you if it wants to keep fighting you. So if you don't run away, it's going to get you.
Get him.
Which makes a lot of sense. Like if you run away, I was like, oh, okay, he ran away. I can't catch him. These are giant monsters.
Right. I like how they like lose interest technically. Like, or I mean, in Let's Go, they disappear, right? I think after you run.
They skedaddle and they just go away.
Good word. But yeah, I mean, it makes more sense if they stay there and then they're like, hey. You know.
Hey, you, Mr. Man, why don't you suddenly tree trunks?
Exactly. I'm trying to think where to go right off of the wild area thing.
You mentioned the gyms for a second.
Yep.
We got our first look at how the gym system works with our first gym leader named Milo.
My boy Milo, that you're so right, and everyone is so right. I mean, looking at that man, it's literally like, it reminds me of Vincent Adult Man.
Oh my god.
Like the concept.
Yes.
Also, for anyone confused, from BoJack. But
I gotta find the picture. Keep talking.
You've got like this little kid kind of face, and it almost makes it like a little kid face because it's like no nose, so it's like supposed to be like a cute little kid kind of thing, whatever. Yet it's like extremely buff, like upper body kind of guy.
He's all like, chest and shoulders.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a second, how does this make sense? You have that little like baby face with like a bodybuilder body. It very odd, but then it makes sense that he's like one of the first gym leaders because then like, you know, he's not that good. I don't know.
Starting off with a grass gym, dude. We haven't had that in a while, have we?
Well, here's the thing. They said, did they say it was the first gym, or they were giving us a look at a gym?
He's just the first one they've shown us.
Right. So I don't know if it's really the first gym, and it still opens up the question though. Can you do a different gym in a different order? Like, let's say you could do this one first, but I do this one second. None of that's been talked about at all still. So I'm holding out hope, maybe.
Just looking at the map, I think you can... I really hope that it's going to be like, you go where you want.
Right, because, I mean, I get it. Maybe you wall off where it's like, before you get to the wild area, you must complete the gyms beforehand. But if, let's say, that's 3 or 4 gyms... that'd be nice to be flexible and do those 3 or 4 in whatever order, then get to the wild area so you're kind of caught up to that level where you're supposed to be, and then go into the second half of the map kind of thing.
Well, I'm going to pull up the map real 1 second. The Galar map. Because...
You own one?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah. Don't you?
How?
Internet.
Oh no, I was making a joke that you had a physical, like
Yeah,
it
no,
sounded like you were like moving. So I was like, it's like you trying to get your like exclusive pre-order cloth map or something. I'm like, what the heck?
Okay, so the grass gym is.
You can't
All-
die yet. You need to play this game
So
first.
the grass gym is all the way up where you know that big symbol carved on the side of the mountain is that big weird like dude thing.
I need to pull up a bigger map.
Here, let me give you. I have a really good one here.
Ooh.
I'll ship it to you. We'll see.
Oh, is it cloth?
Yes, of course it is.
Beautiful. Open original. Ah, yes. Okay.
Okay, so do you see where the moon ball is? Above the Big Ben clock in the middle of the map.
No. What?
Do you see the
Wait,
do you see the premiere ball?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
everyone
that
does,
right
yeah.
that right there, that's the grass gym.
Really?
Yeah, and look how far that is from the
Oh,
starting
you're
area.
right. Oh God, you're right. Well, to be fair, we don't actually know where the starting area is.
No, they confirmed it. It's down. It's that little town down at the bottom. That was in the first trailer.
Really?
Yep.
They said it's the starting town?
Yep. See the little houses above the. That's your starting house.
What's Luffy's hometown name? Isn't it Windmill Village?
Yeah. It looks
Yeah,
like
it's got a
that.
windmill.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck? I'm like, wait, it's One Piece.
So
Okay.
by looks of it, I think we're like this is our starting area. We're gonna go see the professor. I can see like all that stuff happening here. Then I bet you take the train. See, like there's a train station that goes to the mountain.
Oh,
I think the
so it
train
could
is
be,
gonna
like,
take us all the way up to that. That's our like
right.
That's our
That's
first
the
town.
train station right there. You get off, you walk down that mountainside. You're at the first gym,
Yeah, and then if you look in that big
and then you discover the stuff on the side of the mountain, and then it's like, what is this?
yeah, if you look in that big industrial town, you can see now there's a ramp going down from like that walled area into the wild area.
Correct.
So I bet that's our first like venture
You
to the
get
wild
to go
area.
to the wild area after the first gym.
Or not at the first gym, but like you're gonna be circumventing. I think like you're not going
Oh,
through
because
the
there's probably then a gym also in that.
yeah.
So maybe after like second gym, third gym, or something.
There's
you
a
can
there's a
actually
grass gym there. There's a water gym over by the coast by the lighthouse. There's a fairy gym up in that weird forest. There's a rock or steel gym by that mosaic. There's an ice gym in the mountain.
Right.
Yeah, but we're going too deep into the map, but still,
It's a good map.
it's gonna be a great region.
I agree.
Is there anything else you want to talk about Pokemon before we move into general E3 talk? I think we're both super excited about this. Like,
I mean, we could go into every single like thing.
do you want to talk about those rumors that came out?
Nah, because it's super speculative.
Yeah, but the fact that like most of what that person said was in the direct today,
Right.
it's
Basically, there's another form of Dynamaxing. There's also Farfetch'd has a new form.
yep, Surfetched.
Apparently, they're going to be making almost like Alola forms for Galar region.
That's the idea. Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm all for it. 100%.
Yep, I agree. I thought it'd be cool if the Galar forms were only for because the Alolan forms were only for Gen 1. That the Galar forms would be for Gen 2 only.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they had to start hyping up an eventual Let's Go, Cyndaquil, and Furret.
I like your selection. But, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. But, I mean, Farfetch needs something.
Farfetch would be cool.
He needs some love. But,
And apparently there are going to be challenges before each gym, kind of like the Orange Island Leagues. Like
which is fine.
Like for Milo, you have to herd sheep. This is what the leak said. Milo has you herding a sheep Pokemon named Wooloo, which they got that. But Pamper, an electric corgi Pokemon, will startle them and send them rolling elsewhere. I totally see a minigame like that.
Which, I mean, if you look on the map, like, there's tons of fields behind that gym.
Which makes sense for sheep
herding
and
Pokemon.
yeah.
And since you'd think Wooloo is kind of like a first Pokemon that you catch or something.
Yeah.
Man, I'm too excited about this game, I swear.
It was a great, great direct.
It was a lot more information than I expected.
It was less than what I was expecting, but like in a good way.
Well, it was only less in that I didn't see like anything more about the starters and stuff like that. But in terms of like gameplay and other things, like the whole wild area thing, like that was more than I thought would have happened. I thought they were just going to be like, oh, so here's the legendaries, here's the starter stuff, and here's a couple Pokemon, and then it's like maybe something about like the plot or further into the map and be like, oh, this is a town that you'll go to. And I'm like, man, who cares? But they did a lot more than that. So, I mean, also the music for that video was like pretty hype.
Oh, they do a good job of also like advertising, like we're together forever, we're on the journey. Look at me and my Pokemon.
Because as it is, yeah, we didn't even talk about that, like Pokemon Home and all that stuff. And
oh yeah, that we could go on. Like all that stuff to me is not like Pokemon Home is by far the biggest news for you and me.
Right.
We don't know. Like it's still too early to say what Pokemon Sleep will actually do.
Yeah.
We don't know what any of those other things really are. So
I mean, I was just also hoping that they would mention something more about the Pokemon Home thing. But I get it because the game is coming out and Pokemon Home will not be out yet. So it makes sense.
Correct, but that's how every new gen has worked.
Yeah, sure. But I was just saying, like, then it makes sense that they wouldn't really tell us too much more about it since, the thing coming out first does not have that capability. So they'll probably talk about it after the game comes out, like a couple months later. They'll be like, so, Pokemon Home. And it's like, oh, whatever. So,
yeah.
It's all good. But yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, it's just so exciting. I mean, it's like 15-minute direct. So if anyone hasn't watched it and still needs to watch it, I mean, by all means, go for it. Because they're probably going to also have some form of a demo at E3, I would think. With
probably during the treehouse.
Right.
Which is good, because remember when we saw, I think it was Young Goose way back then?
They showed off your favorite Grubbin, I think, at that, too.
Grubbin is not my favorite. You like the way I say grub.
100%. I'm very biased.
That's your backdoor way of getting me to say grub. Hey, can't look at this Pokemon. Grubbin. Ah.
Yeah, I'll be like, wait, what was that one Pokemon? Sun and Moon. God, yeah.
Grubbin? Yeah, but say about the in.
Right. Grub. Yeah.
I'll never understand that, but...
Me neither.
All right, so Nintendo's already won E3 with that Direct, but...
100%. I mean, we're heavily biased, but 100% they've already won E3.
We're heavily biased, but at the same time, we've gone to many E3s in the past. Like, Nintendo's stupid. They're going to show us nothing but Breath of the Wild. What even is that game? And then, like, the year they did that, we left, like...
They won E3. Table for Hamana.
Exactly. So, Nintendo at E3. They are once again not going to have a stage show at E3, but they're doing their Nintendo Direct, which is right now rumored to be 45 minutes long, which that's great.
It's average.
Yep. We do not know what they're going to show, though.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing. I think because this time they actually have decent options, where last time they're like, well...
No, they have a single option.
Animal Crossing.
Exactly.
Right, but they haven't come out and said that.
They went out of their way to have a Mario Maker 2 Direct. They went out of their way to have a Sword and Shield Direct and a Pokemon Conference.
Well,
they have not mentioned a single thing.
Wait. To be fair here, Pokemon always does their own thing. Mario Maker's coming out at the end of the month, which is like 2 weeks after the thing. Why would you center it all around a game to get people so hyped up for the next 2 weeks, and then they're like, oh, the rest of the year? Eh. So it's got to be something later in the year. The problem is they have so many candidates for games for the end of the year. They've got, obviously, Pokemon game, but that's more Pokemon. I don't think they would ever do it around that because it's more of like kind of independent thing.
Yeah, no, they
aside
never...
from that, they've got Animal Crossing. They've got Luigi's Mansion. Those are already two big games for them at the end of the year, not including Pokemon. and they could probably all come out around the same time, like October, November, December. So, maybe they're between the two. Maybe they kind of split it up, half and half.
They also have Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening too, though. For a
They-
remake, I'd be shocked. Also, because they already focused on a Zelda game previously, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, okay. Here's the in terms of like what they're gonna like theme their like every year they've been theming their booth around one thing. Like
Right.
originally Breath of the Wild. The year after that it was Mario Odyssey. The year after that was Smash Bros.
Right. So I'm thinking this time it's just they don't have a one thing. They might have a multiple, like little corners, little something.
I think they're gonna go hard into Animal Crossing. I think their entire booth is gonna look like the little like villager houses and like public like.
Thing is, I would 100% support that. Like, I want that. I want fruit trees, man. I want different fruit trees scattered all over that thing. Like, I'm big on those diversified fruits, man. That's, I look forward to that the most. I really look forward to finding, like, who's got the apple, who's got the pear, who's got the whatever, and putting them all in, like, a corner and being like, haha. But, like, I'm hoping they do that stuff. I just think they've been so upfront in the past of what they're doing. And, I mean, there's still time, granted, but, like, I don't know. I think they're going to split it up more. But I would love it for be Animal Crossing focused.
We know that they're having a Smash tournament at E3.
Which, I mean, that's expected. They did it last year.
Right. They're having a Splatoon 2 tournament.
They did that last year. That's fine. They're going to have that same guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, that one.
That random main guy that I think this is all he does, which is fine.
And they're having a Mario 2 exhibition and race as well.
Maker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that. That's fine.
So those are 3 confirmed things they're doing.
Right. But that never gives an indication to what their booth is going to look like.
Not their booth, but what if in the direct it's like, hey, here's the next Smash character.
Which I honestly expect some sort of a teaser. You'd have to think, because if they announce like 5 different characters for this year, it's already half the year, right?
And then, hey, here's the new DLC for Splatoon 2.
I'd somewhat be shocked.
And then, hey, here's the secret modes we've been hiding from Mario Maker 2.
That I would love.
Because you saw in that did you watch the Mario Maker Direct?
Yes.
When they showed off like the Super Mario World U is its own like category,
its own section. So what are they going to add a second thing to that section?
If not more, I'm convinced they're going to add Mario 2.
The heck is Mario 2 though?
With the turnips and the Shy Guys and Birdo.
Well, but that's okay.
Those are mechanics that are never used again in any other Mario game.
Oh, so that would be technically a different style where it has to be that form. That's interesting. Which,
and they already showed in the Mario U not Mario. I'm calling it Mario U. The Mario. The Super Mario World. No, what's that new mode called? I keep calling it the wrong thing.
3D World?
3D World, thank you. In 3D World, you can pick up like the crates and throw them and whatnot.
Right.
I could easily see them like tweaking that mechanic into Mario 2 for picking up the turnips and throwing them, picking up the enemies and throwing them.
Right. That's true.
I think that's a guarantee. If not that, it's going to be the Mario Land games from the Game Boy. And it's going to be like that old school style green Game Boy look.
That'd be interesting.
That or Mario Odyssey or Galaxy, which I don't see working in 2D.
There's no way they're making Odyssey render.
There are 2D segments in both Odyssey and Galaxy.
Okay, but that's like 8-bit.
No, like legit, like there are parts in that game where it's only side to side. It's that fake like 2D-ish, 2.5D, those segments.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, like the 8-bit thing.
No, not the 8-bit ones though.
God.
Like just when the camera's fixed on a 2D plane.
Oh, okay. Jeez. Okay, I don't know. But that would be Very interesting. I could actually see that. You make a good point with these. I could definitely see that. But huh. Yeah. As it is, I'm really excited actually for the Super Mario Maker 2, whatever, Mario Maker 2. I don't even think it's Super. Oh, it is.
Super Mario Maker 2,
Super.
yeah.
Um I'm just sold on that story mode, man. You give me something to complete, I'm like, ooh.
That story, 100 crafted levels or more by like the top Nintendo Mario Maker level people. Like,
Right. I mean
baby.
that, and you're repairing like the castle, like it just seems cool. Like I want to do that.
There's so much little flair to it. It's amazing.
Yeah, like so that's a good call on the DLC thing or potential DLC or like a hey, we didn't tell you this, but also, you know, true. So I agree with all this stuff. I'm not going to disagree. But at the same time, yeah. So it still brings to the fact though, you got Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing. Those are the two other big games at the end of the year.
Link's Awakening,
Link's Awakening, sure.
Cadence of Hyrule,
Sure.
Astral
So
Chain,
it's third party. But okay. Uh-huh.
Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yuck. Anyway, uh-huh.
Wait, let me pull up a list of upcoming Nintendo games.
What are your thoughts on those three houses?
I'm not sold on it. I'm gonna get it eventually. I know I will, but like,
Not a day one?
no, probably maybe. Here's the, I need to see more. They have not shown me enough to make me want it day one.
Yeah. I respect that.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. That's a Nintendo exclusive. There's the Game Freak game Town.
Yes. Well, these aren't things though for the like. I'm just saying for things that they would center around and hone in on and make things in their booth, whatever.
But here's the thing: they showed Town before they even showed Pokemon. So like,
well, they're not going to make their whole exhibit thing based
no,
on Town.
if they're making their booth off anything, it's gonna be Animal Crossing, plain and simple.
Not Luigi's Mansion.
No,
They could do a whole mansion theme.
they could, but what do you think is gonna sell better?
I mean, if they looked at the numbers and they were smart, it'd be Animal Crossing.
Exactly, that's what they're gonna do. They're smart.
I've seen them do mysterious things,
Like,
sir. The Wii U.
touche.
Yeah, see, so I wouldn't put it past them. No, and to be fair though, Luigi's Mansion setup with the whole thing, you'd be all for that. You love Halloween, you love Luigi. Though you'd also be crying inside because you're like, Animal Crossing, no.
Animal Crossing is gonna take over my life.
I mean, I'm just praying, even though it's such a long shot, that it comes out in August.
I think September.
It has to, because I need to play that a ton, get my fill on it, and get most of that out of the way before Pokemon comes out.
See, I think they do September because September there's no holidays. You do it September, and then you run to Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas and New Year's, and that's like the best times to play those games.
That is very smart. I was thinking almost that if you line it up with Luigi's Mansion in October, you got
Yep.
Pokemon in November,
Yep,
and it's kind of like
Link's Awakening for December.
right. I just thought of it as well. It's more of like a remastered kind of thing that's easier to put out. I could see that being like an August, September something. While Animal Crossing, it's a big investment, big time. And I'm like, well, at the least they could put it out and you still have Christmas. So they put it out in December, like early December, and then you have the Christmas event, New Year's.
I could see that too, and they've done that in the past with Pocket Camp. They released it in like November,
Right.
December, but
Right.
I don't know how much.
I mean, I'd hope not. Like, I'm more on your side. Like, I want it to be like August or even September. That way, because when Pokemon comes out, I gotta play that thing, man.
Well, yeah, we'll be playing that together when that comes out.
Okay, well, I don't mean even after the first day. I mean, like, the next like
In general.
the next like 10 years from now. So like before those 10 years start, I want to play Animal Crossing. Like, I'm hoping just because then I'll be like, well, I do want to play Animal Crossing. Pokemon, oh, I still want to do this, I want to do that, and then I'm like,
So is it safe to say that Nintendo can do no wrong this year for us? Like, what could they do during their direct to make you not...
That's a good question. The things they could do wrong. Show me more Damon Ex Machina. The heaping pile of trash that game is.
It's not that bad.
Yeah. They give me too much more on that Three Houses. And if they give me too much of this Bayonetta that I don't care about.
Bayonetta 3.
It's that whole type of genre. It's so beat 'em up style, and
that's what it is. It's a beat 'em up.
I know,
it's a spectacle.
I don't like beat 'em ups. I don't like that. It's not entertaining. It's maybe cool to watch a cinematic clip of it. I don't want to sit there for hours spam like, it's dumb after a while.
It's more than just that, but I get your point.
So I hope that they don't go more centered on those types of games that I just personally don't like. If they focus more on like the Luigi's Mansion, the Link's Awakening thing, maybe a touch of Pokemon somehow, in even the direct, maybe they might honestly in the direct to just recap something.
Well, honestly, their treehouse I feel is more information than their directs usually are.
Half the time, because they're like, well, you've got this game, you got this game, you got that game, you got this game. It's like, ooh, and like, the treehouse is like, so this game, here you go.
They've announced games during the treehouse.
That is true. I mean, so yeah, it's a whole comprehensive thing. It's just always annoying that I can't really take off of work during it, because like that's a busy week for me. It's very painful. I wish I could take off that day. My God. But life is.
You can't take off at all?
No. Next week is like really busy, really rough. Because the whole like second quarter payments for taxes and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That deadline is June 15th, which is actually going to be moved to Monday the 17th. So that whole week, I'm gonna work like pretty late, maybe that Friday, and then the 15th on Saturday, I'm probably gonna be working the whole day. It's gonna suck, but I'm gonna try to catch up with all this E3 stuff after it ends because I want to make sure I'm all caught up, and then we got to do our post kind of E3
discussion,
right? But good call on the town. I'm very excited to see more information on town.
They just released new screenshots recently of that game, and the entire like interface and like the HUD got completely updated. It's looking really good, that game.
I mean, I just wonder if they keep bouncing things off of the Pokemon like section of Game Freak or whatever, because I feel like even the whole like I guess camera and stuff, maybe that was inspired partially by everyone yelling at them, but also their game of town, and they're like, maybe that'd be a cool thing, you know?
Well, someone said how like with this game, this is the first console Pokemon game. It seems like the theme they went for this game is just big. And that's like, the region is big, the wild areas are big. Let's make the Pokemon big too. Everything bigger. Giant Pokeballs, throw them, catch it, bigger. 4 players, like everything about just big.
Fine. I'm perfectly fine with that.
So, me too. It's gonna be a thick game.
Oh, you keep using that word now.
What, thick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
If you know,
anyway.
you know.
My lord. All right. Anyway. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I guess that's it. Oh my. So I do think Nintendo really does have a great shot to be even better this year. I really hope
so. The only way they could screw up my mind if they come out and saying, we know you're excited for Animal Crossing. But unfortunately, it is the year of Luigi again.
God, you're right.
So Luigi's Mansion 3 has taken its spot.
Lord. If they say that Animal Crossing is delayed until early 2020, I will lose my mind.
If they come out and the first thing in the direct is like, like when you start the game and Isabel's talking to you?
Yeah.
It's that. And she's like, hi, I'm really sorry, but I've been too busy in Smash Bros. So the town isn't quite ready yet.
Oh my God.
22.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow, that was extreme. But also, Um, God, that seems so accurate. And then you would be so conflicted because you're like, oh my God, Isabel, oh my God, what are you telling me? And then it's like,
Nintendo wasn't brave enough to break the.
they forced an innocent mayor's assistant. Oh God. Man, that would be devastating. But oh man.
So maybe,
Wow.
maybe to wrap up Nintendo section here. What do you want out of new Animal Crossing?
Okay. I want I like the idea from New Leaf with the whole like public works project stuff.
Yes.
I'm hoping they expand upon that, some different options, and some of those more key things like the police station, most famously, would be more readily or easily accessible and not part of this, oh, just by luck. Because I really don't think that's a great thing for such a key
I agree.
building. Yeah, from you, that took you like a year to get it.
No more than that.
God. See, you're just choking up thinking about
Several
it.
years it took. It took several years.
God, like, I think they need to make a couple changes with that. But also, I like the whole customizing your town thing. But at the same time, you know, they did a baby step these past couple games with New Leaf and City Folk in that you could go to this other area and do some stuff. I would love for them to expand more upon it somehow. Make it more into a whole separate entity. Or like you're almost like if you have like almost like a vacation home, like you have different maps in a sense. I'm not asking for like 1,000,000, but maybe you have like almost like 3 sections where you have like part of a town where you have a house, you have a whole city thing, and then maybe you can go off to some other land where you have a vacation home and a mini town around that. Like I want a little more different areas, different environment, maybe different catching locations. I mean, I'm almost thinking now in terms of like Stardew Valley because it's kind of similar, where you know you can fish in all these various locations, which you already can in Animal Crossing, but like even more. And you know you have all these different terrains, and you got all whatever. You know, just if they could do more with that, it'd be great. I feel like it's not that hard, honestly, just to add more real estate. I'm not asking for super complicated, convoluted neighbors and all this whatever, but more space.
I've had 2 ideas I've been throwing around for a while now. Imagine like a graveyard in the town,
Spooky.
where you have like a mausoleum, and you have a ghost villager.
I can see that.
So like it's a single mausoleum, and one ghost villager lives in the graveyard. And if you don't like the villager or you want like a new one, you help them move on. So they can be like,
oh my God.
Like, before I died, I like buried a shirt underneath this apple tree. Go find it for me and bring it back to me. And then it generates like a random quest. You go get it, give him the shirt, he moves on. Then you get a new ghost villager.
That is like the darkest thing I've ever heard.
It's only dark if it was like if you had a villager and they showed up later as a ghost.
Okay, but what the heck? You're like, make them quote unquote move on. Like,
Yeah, they have unfinished business.
Dear Lord. But it is interesting. But
that I want to have that. I want to go to the moon.
Another great visual novel game.
Yes, you have Celeste, you have Gulliver and his spaceship, you have Captain and whatnot. Let's make a space program, go to space, and have moon villagers.
That's a bit insane for the world of Animal Crossing.
Is it though?
You never know. You never know. I mean, I was already reading to things where people wish they'd bring back more like constellations and stuff.
Exactly. Cool. Instead of going to the island, you go to the moon. You click.
You are the constellation. You're like, oh my God.
No, you go to the moon and you collect moon rocks and you collect space bugs and then you sell them at retail. That's the new island.
Still go back to retail. They've made their own empire.
Hey Reese, we have these moon rocks now. Excellent.
He's He's got like he becomes like Dr. Robotnik. Um, what's it called? Or just becomes Jim Carrey. But what was I
Basically, with
gonna
Animal
say?
Crossing, I want everything bigger and better and new and unexpected.
Like
I'd be okay
if
if
there
you.
was a defined like almost like in what was it, Happy Home Designer, where people had like a defined like garden outside or like a lawn
Oh my
essentially.
God, yards.
Like yeah, you have your own kind of yard where you can stake out a thing and maybe weeds do not grow in that. So you can purposely focus on doing the hybrid flower breeding. You do all that kind of stuff without worrying about weeds and things and you know that would be really cool.
The more
And that's just
customization, the
subtle.
better.
Yeah, I mean, as is, I'm hoping they're gonna, which I mean, they already brought it to New Leaf after Happy Home Designer. The whole like organizing your room and stuff, all that kind of.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
So I'm hoping there's some form of that for the Switch too, like a something that pulls up quick. It's like, oh, I want to edit this. You press a certain button, brings up a little chart, kind of moves some stuff around on the chart, and the little thing fades away, and then you see the result. I don't know. Like that kind of stuff. Like it's not like insane improvements. Like keep doing what you're doing. Just maybe some new fish, some new fossils, some new something to collect.
They've had so much time to like like learn and test things out.
Right. I mean, New Leaf came out also wasn't it like 2012, 2013?
Yep.
So that's been a long time. Like you say that with like, you okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
Been saying that with like Pokemon X or whatever, but there's been more Pokemon games since then. There haven't really been more Animal Crossing games since then. There's been improvements and there's been a phone app. Like that's
They
it.
had Happy Home Designer. They had the the board game, the Amiibo Festival, and they had Pocket Camp.
Right, but they're all mini projects. They're not like
True. They were
Pokemon
all
game or
they were
something.
all doing like very like Happy Home Designer changed how we decorate houses and what you could do with that.
correct.
Amiibo Festival was the first HD models for all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And introduced like more mini games. And Pocket Camp was like, hey, do people still like this game?
They're like, well, they do like it, but they kind of don't. Based on the app.
Yep.
Oh God. I mean, yeah, I'm just. We'll see. I mean, I think I'm getting it anyway. But
Oh yeah, of course we are.
but show it to me.
Nintendo has this like buy the wallet every single time.
I know.
Like I can't imagine what they would do to make me not buy it.
I'm already getting both Pokemon games. That's already $120. I gotta get Luigi's Mansion. I gotta get Animal Crossing. That's over $200. I've already invested in like 3 or 4 games. Like, they don't even have to show me anything more. Already getting it. Like, it's just crazy how their nostalgia factor, their relatable characters, their simple designs, their whatever. Like,
It works.
it's home cooking, man. You go back to it and you're just like, this is nice. you know? We fall for it every time and I don't feel cheated.
No, we don't like.
Aside from Paper Mario sticker
Oh
stuff.
fuck that shit.
That's the only time where I'm like, oh, comfort. This is great. Oh God, what is this?
I had a really good idea. I had a really good idea today. Imagine they remade Mario RPG Legends of the Seven Stars in the Paper Mario engine,
Do you know how much you'd be flipping out?
like more than Flippy the Flipping Dog.
And he flips.
Flipsy.
Look at him flip.
Like that could totally work. You have to like tweak things a little bit, but like
I mean, I'm not opposed. I'll tell you that.
have you ever played the original?
Still no.
Man,
Which is shocking and appalling to even myself.
you own it in like several different forms, I feel like.
I think you're right. I'm ashamed. But I'm at least a man that can admit.
Who do you
When
think
I
our
am
who do you think our next Smash character is going to be?
As much as everyone wants this whole Banjo Kazooie thing,
I think it's legit, dude.
I think there's a higher chance for like the Tetris L block. No,
I'd play that.
man, I don't know anymore. I'd really want this these rumors to go away, that like satisfy these stupid people so that they won't stop going on and on about these same characters every 5 seconds. Like give them the stupid Isaac from Golden Sun.
Well, they're not going to do that.
Give them the stupid Banjo-Kazooie.
They might do that.
Give them the Tetris L block.
Nope.
Give them the Waluigi, even though there's no at this point. And I don't know. Those are the biggest things.
Give me Master Chief. Give me Minecraft Steve. Give me...
Those are lesser.
Give me the Dragon Hunter. Monster Hunter. Give me
at this point, give me like... I don't know. I don't know what I'd even want. Smash is Smash. I'm used to my characters that I play, and I'm just like, that's it.
Have you tried out Joker yet?
Like for one computer game just to see?
He's fun.
Is he? I don't know. I've been bad. I haven't kept up with Smash. I still haven't unlocked all the characters. It's depressing. I mean, I have the fighter pass. I mean, I'm getting all the characters eventually. You're gonna leave me hanging here, aren't you? God. Wow.
Did you beat World of Light?
No, I didn't even play it. I don't even know the song. All I know is Holly La Ha.
That's from
That's
Brawl.
not this game. I know. You know how much we play Brawl? My God.
Holly La Ha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to Microsoft. Microsoft is actually going to be at E3 this year. They're actually going to have a stage conference. They're actually going to be there.
Were they not there last year?
No, they were there. Just out of Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, they're the last one to have a stage show. So like we should mention, Sony's not going all this year. There's no Sony booth. There's no Sony show. There's no Sony at all this year at E3. 0.
Mm-hmm.
So last year we railed on them because they only had 4 games. They had...
Their setup was quite interesting.
They
had a very interesting kind of setup.
Yeah, the moving booth thing. They had The Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was The Last of Us 2. Oh, I can't even remember, honestly. It was that bad.
Bad it was. They had Dreams. They had something.
They had Dreams. That wasn't one of their. They had 4 main games as a focus.
Death Stranding.
Was that one of their? I don't think that was one of their focuses. I'll look at it 1 second. Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, that samurai game, Spider-Man, and Last of Us Part 2. That's what they showed last year. Now, Spider-Man came out, phenomenal game. Death Stranding was just announced for this November.
Surprisingly.
Very surprisingly. Looks confusing as all heck, but it should be good. Ghost of Tsushima, we know nothing about that game besides what they showed last year. And Last of Us Part 2, same thing. No release date, no window, no nothing.
Right.
So that's Sony. That's Sony's, we don't know what they're going to do. The fact that they announced Death Stranding, through a Twitch stream the other day, that's the equivalent of them doing their E3 stuff, I think.
Well, I guess they lost.
I guess so. It's surprising, too, because, they're showing off the PS5. Have you seen the stuff with the PS5?
Only little hints of things or whatever. I haven't looked into it too much. They've
been showing it to journalists on the screen. The other day, video finally came out of it. They've been showing off Spider-Man running on it, and where in the game, it generates all of New York. So it's pretty, demanding in terms of the hardware.
Right.
On the regular PS4 Pro, it takes, I think, 18 seconds to load, or 18 to 30 seconds to load the game. On the PS5, it took 0.8 seconds.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of different factors there. Of course, it's better hardware. There's an SSD in there, which helps. Um, yeah, I mean, it all sounds good. I mean, it is what it is. It's, supposed to be a good gaming console. It can even work with PS4 apparently to some extent.
But it's just weird that they have this big console development and they're skipping
Right.
E3. So clearly this is not coming out this year unless they plan on doing their own, like been doing those Sony Days of Play thing.
Or State of Play.
State
whatever,
of Play, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like those are like copying the Nintendo Directs, but they're not having one of these during E3 as far as we know.
Right. And I mean, it looks like, games are getting announced for like PS4, but not through them. It's like other companies being like, this is our game. It's available for this, PS4, I don't know. It's interesting. It's like, would you even then consider that part of Sony where you're like, oh, well, that PS4 game looks really cool?
Only if it's PS4 exclusive.
Which you'd have to think probably maybe one tops if they're not even at the thing.
Yeah, like I'm looking at like a list of games we know they're going to be there.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Like Death Stranding is PS4 only, but that's not going to be at E3 apparently. Or if it is, it's not listed anywhere yet.
Right.
I don't know. We started talking about Microsoft and we kind of fell into Sony, but I think Sony's like, I don't want to say dead in the water, but I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know what they're doing.
it's interesting because they did this past generation very well because they got off on the front foot, but Microsoft's been catching up on them. And
Microsoft's been doing good now where they realize, okay, our console sucked, but let's make it like the best experience for the customer. Their Game Pass is great. The fact that they're working with Nintendo now for crossplay is great. The fact that they are they're bringing the Game Pass to PC, they're bringing the Master Chief Collection to PC as well, making it part of that. They're providing online cloud support to both Sony and Nintendo. Like they said, hey, we'll build your cloud like networks for you. Like they're going out of their way to make all these quality of life things for gamers, which is great.
right.
Just no one wants to have anything to do with their console. Not even them, apparently.
Well, I mean, that console is what it is, it works, but at the same time, they're like, well, we understand that everyone has their own like PC now, so, hey, you could do it on both, do whatever you want, which I get it. Sometimes your wish, like, hey, push your console more, whatever, but it's moving. They're kind of trying to move with the times, I guess, which I'm fine with. I mean, because
I just think it's funny that when they released the Xbox One X, there were no games that supported it. Like nothing, like there wasn't like, oh, here's a game that only runs on the Xbox One X, or oh, best experience on the One X. Like there was nothing.
I guess because you just run into problems where then it's like, but I wanted to play that, and then you don't have the system, and then it's like it has less sales, and they're like, why is it selling less? They're like, well, because it's only available this one, sir. And then they're like, you're fired. Like I don't know. It's kind of like how the new 3DS was like, what, they had like 2 or 3 exclusive
Binding of Isaac and Xenoblade Chronicles.
Like, the heck's with that? Like, like, so what? They're gonna do the same thing with the Xbox One X, and then what? 2 people buy it because of that, and that's it? Like,
well, I think that what we're seeing is like, so that's a great example with the new 3DS. That was Nintendo at the very end of their handheld life, and they legit did not know what to do anymore. Like, hey, we can make it a little more powerful, and that's pretty much it. And then what comes after that? The Switch, which is a fully realized hybrid console that is the evolution of the DS and the home console. And I think that was a major risk that paid off for them in a great way. I think Microsoft now is at that same point, and to a degree, Sony as well. Like, no one cares if you have a PS4 or an Xbox One. Like, if we go full crossplay and every machine that we have can all run these games, then there's no console war. And I don't think they know. I think that Sony has no clue. I think Microsoft's kind of catching on, where they realize, like, okay, our machine doesn't matter. Let's make the best experience for whoever wants to game and how they game.
Right. I mean, part of that even goes with the whole thing last year where they were like, hey, we bought up all these game studios. They make good stuff.
They bought a ton of
more
studios last year.
more of the like design side of things and more of providing good games. Forget where it's on, you know, which I respect that. I mean, it makes sense.
They brought Cuphead to the Switch, and it runs better on the Switch than any other console. It's beautiful.
They brought Cuphead to Tesla. Like,
oh my god, I saw that.
you play it in your car.
And then you die. And then you die.
Well, you can't play it apparently unless you're parked or something.
Damn.
Or you're stopped. Which,
I mean,
I
makes sense, but...
I get it, but less
like if your buddy's in the passenger seat and wants to play...
Right. That's the thing. It's like, you'd wish that there's that kind of like capability or something where it's got like, I mean, I can't reference Pokemon Go because that's like the dumbest thing where it's like, I'm a passenger, click the button quick. Like, but, certain things like that. I don't know. But, yeah. I mean, in terms of like Microsoft, I mean, because we always blend like Microsoft and Sony into one. It's like Nintendo's their own kind of history thing because, they got the Switch. It's like a hybrid thing and everyone loves it and it's already gone over well and that's its own thing. But then you got these very traditional consoles and it's like, well, how do you improve from here? And Microsoft is like, well, we improve by, making it more universal to everyone and whatever. And, Sony's just more like, let's just keep making an even better console. And it's like...
Well, I think Sony, out of all three of them, is the most lost now because they were the top dog for years and they earned that spot. But then, like, they got, like, stingy and cold. They didn't want to do crossplay and they're still being very, like, adamant about it.
I mean, that's what I always thought. They got like way too pretentious, like with their like E3 conferences and stuff. It's kind of like, well, we know that Microsoft's trying really hard and trying to bring in all this stuff, and Nintendo they do whatever they do. But Sony's like, well, we're only going to show you just a few games. You're going to love it, so just watch. And then everyone's like, oh my god, those are the best things ever.
But
and that's it.
That worked for a long time, though. Like, year after year, dropping God of War, Last Guardian, Kingdom Hearts. Like, they were the top dog for the longest time. And then after last year, they're like, we have nothing really to show you. And now this year, like, they didn't do their state of play last year, their big like December conference. They skipped that completely.
Mm-hmm.
They've had two of these like Nintendo Directs. And the first one was abysmal. The second one was good because they showed off Final Fantasy VII again.
Right.
But like they showed us that back when they announced Kingdom Hearts 3. It was that same night that Buffalo Wild Wings. So
well,
I don't know what to expect. I'm almost hoping like Sony comes out and drops like one of their like Nintendo Direct videos and like blows E3 out of the water.
They're just like, who needs E3? We could just upload this now.
Like, yo, here's the PS5 out this fall. Last of Us 2 is like day release for it. Death Stranding runs better on the PS5. It gives free blowjob. I don't know.
Wow. You're starting to get somewhere.
Yeah.
No, it'd be interesting. I don't know. It is definitely the biggest question mark I have is Sony's thing, just because they're really not there. So it's just like, do they lose automatically? Like, I would think so, but
I think they lost.
honestly, yeah, like all the signs point to they lost E3 before it even started because they're not showing up to it. And then it begs the question, like, how important is E3 anymore? I don't know, but at the same time,
you and me have this like idealized version of E3. It's still like a mecca that we want to go to one day and make our pilgrimage to it. Even though from like everything I've heard, it's become like
you wait 5 hours on one line to play one game.
Yeah.
And that's your day.
Yeah. I'm like, is that worth it? I'd rather like walk around with my buddy Josh and do other stuff.
I know.
So
yeah, like I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, I wonder if this is also a trend for Sony now. Are they just going to back out of it permanently? Is this a 1-year thing?
I think they're being conservative. If the PS5 launches next year, they're going to go balls to the wall next year.
Right, but it almost makes them look like a hypocrite. It's like, well,
Yeah, but at the same time, if you don't have anything to show, don't don't waste your time, don't waste your money, don't waste my time. Like I stayed up for that that Sony conference last year, and I was like, huh. They got them bad press. It wasn't fun to watch. Like, and think how much money they must have spent to recreate those stages and do all that stuff.
for those people playing the instruments.
Exactly. Like, cool, but like that got them nothing. That was a net loss.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Now, if Microsoft brings out a car,
You're gonna say that they lost E3.
they do it every year. Regardless, they do it every year.
Yeah.
So far, confirmed for Microsoft this year, they're showing off Gears 5, which,
Okay.
awesome.
That's
They're
fine.
going to show off Halo Infinite,
Okay.
and they're going to show off the Master Chief Collection for PC.
And that sounds good to me.
Those three games are pretty solid, and I'm sure
I
they're
know
going to...
you're very hard on Microsoft all the time, but those are playing to their biggest actual like exclusive games.
Well, last year, I think Microsoft did amazing last year. Like, they did amazing last year because Sony didn't want to show anything.
Right.
Like, all these things, like, why is Microsoft showing this? I thought Sony would show this. Oh,
Right.
Sony's not showing anything.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, so, gives hope.
I hope we see more of the Ori and the Blind Forest sequel.
That is true.
I hope we see the Cuphead DLC.
That'd be nice.
Maybe they'll show off more of what's that pirate game?
With the boats?
Yeah.
That was for that? Like, you're not talking about, like, Sea of Thieves or
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. They have more DLC.
That's what?
More
They
DLC to
wouldn't
show.
No.
They had a big DLC section last year for that game.
But as it is, that game's on the Game Pass.
Yeah. All the games on the Game Pass.
Not all of them, but most.
Dude,
they're bringing a
like
lot.
day one, like any big title goes right to the Game Pass, it feels like now.
I know.
That thing is an insane value.
Oh, it really is.
The fact that you can get the first 3 months like for $1 too.
Yeah,
I'm looking at like, how? How could you afford this?
I know. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, they covered like the big main stuff that would be cool to see. I mean, I guess the only thing I'd like to also see is them following up on kind of what they did last year with the whole like buying all those development teams and companies and whatever, and finally being like, so we did do that last year to update you, and they'll probably be like, we bought more. But also aside from that, be like, hey, so this is some of the stuff that they've been working on, partnered up with us. And then we see more of those like random kind of indie games, something. I'd be interested to see what they've come up with. Maybe that's cool something, whether it's exclusive or not. The fact that they're putting it out, I mean, it's still then a Microsoft product. So
Yeah,
it'd be cool
they
to
bought
see.
enough indie studios where they should be able to do stuff like that.
So it would be cool to see some of that. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some of the work that they've done so far in some of those games. That's my biggest thing, I think, for them.
I'm going through Kotaku has a article. They've been going through like, what did they show off last year at E3, and like, did they keep their promises? And like they're showing like Fallout 4 was after the Game Pass. That came. That's true. Crackdown 3 came out and it was horrible. They brought Nier Automata. Kingdom Hearts came out. Sea of Thieves DLC came out. They announced last year. We Happy Few came out and the game was horrible. New maps for PlayerUnknown's Battleground were horrible. Yep.
What?
I hate that game, but I know you like it.
I mean, whatever. Like, the maps were fine. Don't say the maps are horrible. It's just, it is what it is.
On console.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They showed off more Game Pass. They showed off Dead Cell. They showed a lot of indie games.
Whatever happened to that one game with the little fox? Like,
Right. I don't know.
that game I actually wanted.
Oh, Tunic.
Yeah.
It's still sometime this year. We'll probably see more of it, actually.
I want it. That's one game I want to see.
Oh,
that looked cool.
We might see more of Battletoads. They showed that off They showed like a logo last year.
Right.
They showed off Gears of War last year.
Like, you would actually play that Tunic game.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Again, like, Microsoft did a good job last year. Most things they announced got released. Like, a lot of it wasn't like the best, but like more solid than they've been in a couple of years.
Right. I mean, basically, they just got to keep doing what they did last year. Ride that momentum.
It's just sad. Like, we think about like Nintendo, and like, oh, I want to see all this stuff. I can't picture what I want to see from Microsoft.
I mean, I could say that for Sony.
Like, I have the console. Like, I'm ready. Like, yes, give me a game that I care about. But at the same time, they're pushing all their games everywhere. Like,
which it's just not a problem.
It's not a problem, but like as a company, I want them to sit.
No, I mean, I get it. You're losing out on this exclusive thing.
But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I want Microsoft to sit down, put me on their knee, and say, "Little Kenneth, this is what we're doing with the company," and like tell me what. Like if they say, "Hey, Game Pass for Switch, all these Xbox indie games play on your Switch."
I mean, that'd be insane.
It might happen.
Maybe
it's been rumored now for months.
I know, but just. I mean, that's what I was saying to even start this whole podcast. I was saying with Microsoft, I do have some questions. I'm like, where are you going kind of thing. I know they're doing all these random things and whatever, but like, it would be nice to kind of know, like, they pushing more for console? They pushing more for just throw your games everywhere? Are they pushing for, hey, kids, buy a PC? Like, essentially. Because the thing is, Microsoft is very big, obviously, with the computer, too. So
it's kind of what the company is built off of.
Right. So, that stuff makes sense, and I don't mind them being like, hey, we're going to shift our focus to make everything PC and Xbox, but basically, make them for both. And if you can't build a PC, we've still got the Xbox for you, and we put some good stuff in there. It's still made of good hardware, and I don't have a problem with that. That's fine, and I think that's where it's going to be going. It's just that official confirmation of like, hey, So we'll see if they kind of come out with that. We'll see how it goes.
We do know that they are working on new consoles, though.
Right, which isn't bad. I mean, I think they still generally sell decently well on these consoles.
I just want to see like what the next console could be, because they have the Xbox One X, great console, very powerful.
Right, nothing for it.
Nothing for it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just not sure. It's weird though, because consoles are in a weird space because the whole like lack of 4K for a lot of households. So it's hard to make.
I think that's less of an issue. People are like, Apple just announced like a 6K monitor the other day. I think that people are like, I think 4K is the most adept it's been in a while now. Still not for television, but like people.
I think in another year or two. Another year or two, I could see it. Like, I don't have anything 4K, and I'm perfectly happy not having anything 4K.
Well, you're a monster.
I know, but I'm perfectly okay with that. So, I haven't been convinced personally to move to anything 4K. I've got 1080 stuff. That's it for like PC monitors. I mean, I've got the, I guess it's LED for TV, but like, nothing insane. I mean, we'll have to see. I just think it's a little too soon to where you're going to be like, native 4K, all these games coming out for it, native 4K. I mean, though it's easy to like downsize that, but I think. But I don't know. I can't see a whole brand new console for Xbox coming out in the next 2 years. Maybe after 2 years, like 2 years from now, maybe.
You see, I think they're going to announce a new Xbox for this year.
The problem is, I fear that they're going to get pressured now by this PS5, and they're going to be like,
that's why Sony did it. Sony wanted to get out ahead of the Xbox announcement.
I just we'll have to see, but man, yeah, it's just consoles are becoming less and less important. with everyone having their own PC now, it's becoming like the trend. It's like you don't need those consoles except for those couple things that are like holdouts for like PS4 exclusives, and that's it.
Now, what would you feel if Microsoft and Sony came out with a Switch-like console?
I'd almost be like Nintendo already did it. I don't need it.
So, like, Sony tried with the Vita. The Vita was a very powerful handheld that got zero support.
Well, that's their own fault.
And then
they also sold it at a terrible price point with a terrible memory card configuration. They did a lot of things wrong, and they did nothing to correct it, and then they gave up. That was the biggest problem. They like this whole exclusive to them thing. That attitude has always persisted. The thing is that, I mean, if they made something portable, then it's like, great, I got my phone, my wallet, keys, a Switch maybe. Then I got a portable Sony thing, portable Microsoft thing. It's like, how many portable things do you need now? It's like, oh my God. You know, I don't know. It's like Nintendo already did it. It works. And those feel like they could get away with lower res and stuff based on those kinds of games and whatever. It's just like Xbox, PlayStation, like those are more like sit on the couch, sit in bed, play it on a big TV, you know. That's that kind of stuff. Or, you know, sit at your big computer and play something in a whole fancy setup. Like, I don't know. It wouldn't be as good portable.
Yeah, that's why I go back to my original statement when we first started this conversation tonight. This is a year transition where we got to see where these companies are going. Right. I think Nintendo has it all figured out, and they're chilling, they're cruising, they're doing well.
For now, though, I hope they don't get too complacent. But for now, yes.
We didn't even talk about this. Do you think we'll see the Switch Plus or Switch Mini?
No. They said no hardware at E3.
Really? Okay.
Yep. I'm not even considering it.
Good.
Which I think is perfectly fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if anything, maybe they'll do direct then in like what, October or something, to be like, hey, we got these new models, you know, something. But it's either that or the second it hits January, because the thing is, part of the reasoning was like, well, we don't want to announce any hardware that we have, you know, if they're not coming out very soon. But also the reasoning behind that, I would think, is, well, if we announce it now and it's coming out at the end of the year, no one's going to buy a Switch between now and the end of the year.
They'd want it for the holidays, for Christmas.
Well, that's why I'm saying maybe they wait, sell all these Switches with bundle deals for the holiday, and then in January be like, Happy New Year. We've got new Switches coming this March.
Which,
and it's like,
they've done that a lot. They've done new consoles in March quite often, actually.
See? So I'm like, you know, that's almost like the perfect plan. It's like, sell all your Switches and then have everyone be like, do I upgrade? All that after like they literally just got it and whatever. You know, so I think maybe that's more of the route. So yeah, I mean, they already said no hardware, so I'm not considering that.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, Microsoft looks like they've got a better direction than Sony. Sony's literally backing out from the competition temporarily, at least.
They're taking a knee for now.
Yeah, so I mean, it just makes Microsoft look better and better, honestly. As much as maybe it hurts for you to hear that, but
no. Believe
true.
me, I understand. So
yeah, so we'll have to see. Yeah. I mean, those are always the big three things, but I mean, still got all those other things. There's even like, you know, PC gaming show, which is always like kind of a mess. But what's interesting though, I mean, I guess just do a quick rundown. So based on what you've sent me and what looks like it's probably official, there's also going to be Bethesda, Devolver Digital.
Yep.
Apparently some sort of upload VR. I don't know.
No one cares.
PC gaming show.
Boo.
Limited run games, which
I can't see, like, They
I don't know how that's a presentation.
They release games. They don't make games.
They make physical release of games. So I don't know what that's going to be unless they're announcing like, so we've taken this whole catalog of 100 games. We're going to make them all available to the rest of the year. Like I get how that's like a quick press conference, which that might be worth it then to get that word out. Ubisoft, apparently AMD is hosting their own basically PC gaming show.
Good for them.
I guess. Kind of Funny Games, which isn't that like streamers or something?
No,
or YouTube?
Kind of Funny is oh no, you're right. It's Game Over Greggy, his company. Greg Miller. Interesting. I don't know what they're doing.
Okay, yeah. And then the interesting thing, here's the then kicker to wrap off even the Sony thing. Square Enix, they're taking Sony's time slot, which is interesting. So in one sense, it's like, wow, Sony's really not coming. Also, wow, the pressure's on Square Enix, because people are like, that was my Sony time slot. That was when I get home from work. I sit down, I relax, I watch what Sony's got, and now people are like, so what do you got, Square Enix?
Square better knock it out of the park. Their conference last year was horseshit. It was
that was aggressive, but I agree.
It was like, hey, all those trailers you saw from the day before,
right?
Here they are
like,
again.
Oh, it's like, wait, you guys saw Kingdom Hearts 3? Here's a smaller trailer of what you saw. It was like, literally, wasn't it condensed? Like Microsoft showed off a longer trailer.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
And then Square Enix, they showed off the same trailer, but cut off bits of it. I'm like, what am I watching? I was like,
it was the worst thing in the world. Now, granted, Square has Final Fantasy VII. They showed that off like a month or two ago, not a month ago, during Sony's State of Play video thing.
Which I could see them again, honestly, like doing something again with that.
And they have the event, like Square's been working on a Avengers game for like years now. And they announced they're going to show it off finally at E3.
Well, also, there's the rumor that Octopath could make a sighting. For two reasons. Because Octopath has an app.
Well, it's coming to PC this year, Octopath.
Well, sure, but the Octopath app.
Octopath.
You heard about that, right?
No.
It was an app that was, I think it was officially released in Japan. And it's basically like a prequel kind of style to the Octopath like world. But I think it was relatively limited in how much there really was.
Yeah, I've heard nothing about this at all.
So, people are thinking maybe this is now more announcements of what they're doing with that, / like coming to the US. Maybe. Like, I'm hoping there's more Octopath than just like, hey, you love that game on the Switch, right? It's also coming to PC for those who don't have it. I'm hoping they're also like, hey, in this app.
I think it's too soon for that, though, honestly.
Maybe. I mean, even just teaser to be like, it is coming to mobile at some point. It'll be a totally different story. I'd be like, oh, nice. Get it confirmed.
That'd be interesting.
But, yeah, I mean, aside from that, I don't know how much they're going to do.
Yeah, no, Square's a wild card.
I know that it's Sony's time slot, but is it Sony's, like, full time slot?
It doesn't say.
Because there's no way they could take up, like, 3-4 hours worth of time.
Unless they show nothing but fun. If they showed 3 hours of Final Fantasy VII, they win E3.
Oh my god.
Not by me, but by most people would say.
I was going to say, what if Nintendo counters with like
3 hours of Animal Crossing?
No, like 85 Treehouse segments of Animal Crossing.
No, with Animal Crossing, show me the new stuff, then get the fuck out. Like, I don't want...
You're right. Do not spoil that.
Yeah. If you show me a new fruit, I will kill you.
True, but
Tell me they're a new fruit and walk away.
Right. I also want to know if there's new furniture sets. There's been basically the same furniture sets like forever.
I know.
Same Rococo, man. I never liked the Rococo set.
You gotta modify it. It gets better. I never liked the Rococo.
Yeah, I figured that you loved the like obscure furniture theme that I would just pull out of nowhere.
I love Rococo.
Do you actually?
I do. I have an entire room of Rococo furniture.
See, here's the thing. Like, real life Rococo furniture is very, like, old school, classy, like, 1500s, whatever, looks nice.
Uh-huh.
When you put into Animal Crossing, I'm just like, what is this?
Fair.
Anyway. But, yeah, I mean... So there's a lot of these smaller conferences still also.
What about Google Stadia? That's tomorrow.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Aside from all this, aside from official E3, randomly Google Stadia is having a whole press conference tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow night.
Yes.
I don't remember what time.
Neither do I.
But that should be interesting.
I'm worried about them, though.
I mean, I'm worried too. But at the same time...
Here's the thing. They have their big, like, oh yeah, we're doing a Google Stadia, like, stream. And then the next day, all of Google's servers collapsed.
I wonder if they're like final test. Oh God.
So
I mean, who knows? I still think that type of technology and that type of thing that will eventually be the future. I don't know if this is going to take off and be it right now,
it's
but
it's tomorrow at noon Eastern.
it's all right. I'll see how much I can watch of that. It depends how long it is. I don't know how long, but
We have no idea.
I still think the whole concept is fantastic. I mean, seeing that stuff and their ideas for it. I mean, me and you were like, "Wait, this is actually pretty cool."
Oh yeah, that's the future. Now, just can you make the future work?
Right? Is it the proper time for it? I don't think so. But
I think it's close.
if this at least serves a way for, I guess their intention usually is kind of like, hey, you don't have to have a super high-end PC. You don't necessarily have to have the Xbox One X console. You can just have this through Google, and look, it works. And that way, you can still play something if you want. And I think for that purpose, it'd be great. For how much me and you would get out of it, I think very little.
Mm-hmm.
But at least the concept of it, and if it's something that can be proven to work in some capacity, I think it's a good building block. The problem is, Google would throw all this money at it, and if it makes no returns, they'll be like, well, we're probably canceling this.
Well, tomorrow they're announcing all the news, the first ever Stadia Connect, launch info, the game announcements, the price reveal, like everything comes out tomorrow.
Which, it's crazy. I mean, that's one way to lead into E3, because here's the thing. It's like, if it kind of looks bad, then people are like, screw it, at least we got E3.
But if it looks really amazing, they undercut...
Right, if it looks amazing, then it's like, oh God, all these companies at E3, they're under a bit of pressure because they better look pretty good.
Yeah.
Because, at the same time, it's like, then why would I buy maybe this PS5 if, not necessarily for you and I not buy it or whatever, but like general consensus, like why would I pay like $500-600 or something
when my phone can do it?
When I can play basically the same game off of Stadia and it does what I want it to do. So if it looks good and it works good and the games are good, like that's a lot of pressure. So yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting. I'm very excited, honestly, to just see it just for like technology purposes. Forget if I'm even going to use it. Just I tell you every year, I'm just interested in seeing the technology and all the improvements. So
it's a big risk, and I like when companies take risks, like Nintendo with the Switch. Again, we talk about it in high esteem, but up until the day they showed off what the Switch was, yes, we were worried.
That was a gigantic risk, because at that time it was basically, if this flops, like they almost might have to pull like a Sega.
Yeah, and even still, like when they were describing what the Switch was, I didn't believe how good it was until I held it.
Right. No, I thought the same thing. And, and the Sega thing, what I was saying, like, that was a realistic thing. That's not, like, just a exaggerated something. But, they've luckily, like, turned it around and everything. Google, at least, though, they have so much money. This isn't their main thing. They could throw money at it, try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
They're throwing money at it, all right.
As it is, isn't Google Plus done with now?
Oh, yeah.
It's about to shut down?
Yeah, it's completely gone, I think.
I mean, that was like your baby right there.
No, I hated Google Plus.
No, but you had it.
They forced me to make it with a YouTube account.
True. Anyway. But, I mean, it is what it is.
That was your baby. What do you... Get out of here with that garbage.
You had it. You had some friends on there. I was your friend on there. You circle things.
Hell yeah.
I remember that. So I mean, they've tried things in the past. Doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. But I'm excited for it. But the other interesting thing, which I forgot about, but I see it on this thing, EA is having its own thing before E3, and that's it. Like, they're doing their own separate event, not held near the conference area. Maybe it's near. I don't know how near. And
are they?
It's yeah.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be E3 at all this year either.
Right. Which, I mean, I don't blame them, because usually I don't like their conference. But
yeah, but this is a make or break year for EA too, because Anthem flopped. Anthem was a huge disaster. It still is.
they're almost taking the Sony approach. They're like, "Oh God, we already did a bad job," and then they just kind of
jeez.
yeah, they're like, "Let's just do our own thing," and it's their whole like play event thing. So I'm betting they're gonna be like, "Well, we still got the new FIFA, we got the new whatever."
I'm going through the list here. Anthem, don't care. Apex Legends, want to see what they do, because have you tried Apex Legends?
No, I mean it's basically a better like PUBG.
Yeah, it's Apex Legends is actually really impressive. They just need to like start expanding upon it, which is, I was hoping that that's what they do at E3. Battlefield 5, lol. FIFA 20, it's FIFA. Madden NFL, it's Madden. Sims, it's The Sims. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, that game looks phenomenal. Show that bad boy off. Make me care about it, EA. Come on. You got Ubisoft down here with Division 2, no one cares. For Honor, no one cares.
People do care.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint, no one cares. Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay, I'll agree with that. No one cares.
And then, have you heard about this Watch Dogs Legion?
The leak about that for Stadia too?
No. Well, they officially announced it. It got leaked. The title got leaked the other day, and they officially came out and said the title. Have you heard what the concept of the game is?
No. Oh, taking over people or something?
Yeah. So you won't be a single player. You will be every NPC in the game at the same time, and you jump from NPC to NPC. So you're a mom pushing her baby down the street, and you need to get into a government building. You jump into a local a maintenance worker who's working on the building. From the maintenance worker, you get inside. You jump into a guy who has clearance. From the guy who has clearance, you jump into the president. Every NPC.
So basically, you're Rotom, and all the people are machines.
Legit, yes.
I mean,
from what I understand, that's
Watch
what
Dogs,
it is.
It's kind of a cool game, Watch Dogs. That whole series. It's got interesting kind of spy tech, kind of stealth kind of mechanics.
I have a love and hate thing with Watch Dogs because the first game was such trash, and then 2 came out. Yeah, it had, because what they showed off originally for Watch Dogs and then what they actually put out.
Oh, okay.
Completely different.
Well, 2 was supposed to be really good, though.
2 I heard really good things about, but I was so burned by 1, I didn't go to Watch Dogs 2. And now Legion, this is a very unique idea that I have not really, heard before. So I'm, kind of intrigued by it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, still gotta see footage, you gotta see whatever. I mean, that's almost the thing, though. They're gonna show that then at the Google Stadia, I would have to think. So maybe they'll touch upon it for 2 seconds.
They might show a taste of it, and then Ubisoft will blow it out.
I just don't know. The information says here is there's going to be a couple live streams on June 8th, which is, what is that, the Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, basically, they're going to show, a couple things here or there. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a whole day's worth, 5 hours maybe, or is it an hour here, half hour here, here's a 15-minute something. I don't know, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think this is just a cheaper alternative for them, because they're why are we wasting our money when we're the worst ones here? So I mean, on some level I respect that, because
this is really the year for the underdogs, because Sony backed out, Microsoft has to be humble, Nintendo is just cruising. This is the time for all the third parties and all the small,
right.
That's what we're seeing, so many of these little companies doing their own conferences. Right.
I mean, and also gives EA a good reason to kind of back out too. They're well, Sony did it too. There's just so I think everyone's got their own angle to it. I still think though it's just it's a lot of pressure though either way for almost everyone except for Nintendo. I guess not super amount of pressure for Microsoft, but still pressure because they got to lead by example, That's always
Microsoft. This is Microsoft's redemption year. They've been doing such a good job building up good press and goodwill.
Right.
They got to bring it on home during E3. Show us what you learned. Come on, Timmy, give your report. Did you read the book? Did you watch the movie?
What's interesting from more of these smaller ones, because I mean, we just don't even have enough information to go in depth on any of them. For the PC gaming show, it does say one of the people, developers announced that's going to be there. Well, I guess 2 different things. Epic Games. So they might do some sort of Fortnite something, because they're already doing a Fortnite party thing later on in the week at E3.
Yeah.
It shocks me how it's still super popular.
It's a fun game. It's a very fun
Less
game.
but yeah. But also Chucklefish is going to be there. The
Yo,
makers of Stardew,
Chucklefish.
I know they've got a couple other games in the works. So
I'm excited for that one game. What's it called? One second. Chuckle. How do you spell Chuckle?
like CHUCK.
LE?
Yeah.
FISH?
Correct.
Inmost. Comes out this year. It looks amazing. It's by Chucklefish.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh my god, I want that game.
I think Chucklefish is a really good studio.
Well, here's the thing. They're not developing these games. They're acquiring them. They're a publisher. So, like, Stardew Valley was made by Concerned Ape, published by Chucklefish. Inmost is made by Hidden Layer Games, published by Chucklefish. So they're very good at cultivating and, like, picking, like, the best of the best and make them rise to the top. Kind of like how Devolver Digital, too. Same thing.
Right. That's true. Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, there's probably going to be high points for, honestly, all of these conferences. You just don't know how many low points there's going to be. So, hopefully they've each got a little bit of a highlight somewhere. So.
It's going to be a weird year. I just hope that we get something good out of everything. I don't want to see these companies fail. I want them to do well.
Right. Though I think we both secretly always want EA to do.
You have this sick thing where you like seeing companies burn and then Twitch chat scraping them against the coals.
Oh, I love it so much. Like, Twitch chat makes E3 so much more enjoyable, I swear. The people in Twitch chat, they know what to do. Just every time something gets announced with a gun in it, they're like, well, rip Call of Duty. And it's like all these kinds of things. And, the second someone talks for like more than a minute, the Resident Sleeper comes out. These great things,
You just, like, you've seen these jokes many times. It just makes you happy when you see them, like, come on, do it, people.
Exactly. I'm like, I almost have these key points where I'm like, okay, so this guy's coming to the stage. They're going to comment on this. And I'm just furiously reading the chat. Comment on it. And then they comment on it. I'm like, yes.
I will never get that perversion from you.
It just brings me joy. See, I'm not a vicious person, but sometimes it's entertaining to read.
That's the thing. You're not vicious, but you don't stop it. Like, you sit back and watch it burn.
Just gotta get my popcorn, take a seat.
It's just as bad. Like, I'm not beating up the little kid. I'm just watching.
I'm just supplying them with the weapons. No,
you're handing them bats.
God, yeah. I mean, it's that kind of thing, man. It's entertaining.
I get it to a degree, but I just don't see the appeal in that mass, like, hysteria.
I eat it up. I mean, though I've got my own hatred for the Treehouse people that will never fade away. Especially Sam. But you've started to come around on the hate.
I get the hate, but I get that in real life, that's not how they would act.
Sam, I would beg to differ.
There is a gun against each of their heads with a script by Nintendo, and if they even utter out a single wahoo that was not in the script, they get taken out.
Okay, 100%. But the Sam kills me because she started off as this random Treehouse character, and now she's the protagonist.
She's hired to be that, though. They create these false narratives.
She leads the entire thing now, and she always does this whisper of like, "Hey guys, welcome back to the Nintendo Tree."
I'm like, if you see here, I really like the new leaf.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm like, first of all, raise your voice. Like, oh my god, it's so obnoxious.
That's
like,
just how she is. They don't.
She bothers me, and she probably gets paid way too much.
Well, maybe Doug Bowser will fire her this year.
God,
Doug Bowser's gonna come in and clean house.
Good.
Do you think he's gonna be in the direct?
Yes.
You think?
Yes, because
I hope he's as hands-on as Reggie was. I have a feeling he won't be, but
no, I don't think he will be. But I think he'll be there because Nintendo of America always has part in the direct. But that Sam is going to be leading that thing. If she leads that thing, I swear. But
you know she is. You're setting yourself up to be upset.
I'm just hoping there was a power struggle, and that random CJ guy that looks like he's like 45 and everyone else is like 25.
The fact that you know their names, I don't even care enough to know their names.
I have to care because they're in my face all the time.
I listen to the freaking Nintendo Power podcast.
You can't listen to them without knowing their names. I know you do a million things. Stream up in the background and be like, I love this, and then read about the articles later. Yep. You know, but yeah, see, I watch it. I sit there, and that's the only thing I watch. So it's like, oh, it's Eric, and it's Morgan, and it's whoever.
You're scrutinizing it too much. It's supposed to be like dumb, like
no,
feed for the sheep.
They're just pathetic.
They are pathetic, but why do you give them this attention? You're giving them more attention than they need.
They made that random lady that could hardly speak English stall for Breath of the Wild.
She was amazing. Chica?
Yeah, something like that. I'm like, what?
She was great. She blew things up.
God, she's like, oh, I didn't mean to. It's like, oh my God. Like,
because it's supposed to be like this, like, you understand Nintendo's going for like this pure, innocent, naive.
I know.
Like, that's to get your money.
It's different. If they hired you, I would be like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing of all time.
But here's the thing. You know me, so A, you're biased, and B, I'm not what America wants to see. America needs white, plain-ass, no opinion, like, no joking, no references, no meat. Like, they need
It was an Asian woman that could hardly speak English. What do you mean?
Yes, but here's the thing. She's like the everyday person.
Is she?
Yeah. And she's like internal from Nintendo. They don't want me like, hey everyone, Kind King of One playing Animal Crossing. Fuck Isabelle. Yeah, we're at the treehouse. You know what? I fucking loved Animal Crossing New Leaf. We played so many fucking hours of that game.
That Rococo doll. They're like, son, we did not confirm that furniture yet.
Hey guys, look, Doug Bowser's calling me. Hey Doug. What? Fired? Okay.
They put you in that crate with a new Galaxy 3DS and they just ship you off to like Australia.
With Bill Trinan.
Honestly, yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I don't know. So we'll see, but that'll be the one rounding out. Nintendo's always the last presentation to go.
Yep. But they're always our favorite, so.
I mean, best is for last.
I rewatched our video the other day where we reacted to the Mario Odyssey trailer that year.
Yeah.
Holy moly, we were like above and beyond for that.
It was like everything I wanted and more.
Seriously.
But yeah.
All right, I think that's about it, Josh. What do you think? Anything else you want to touch on? Or I think we covered it all.
The rest, not even the rest. Like, a lot of this is really speculative on what we're trying to hope for. So, I mean, we've already said what we hope for basically everyone to some extent and what we kind of fear. So, I mean, the rest just comes down to now they got to show us and then we'll have our opinions on it. So,
yep. Well, it starts tomorrow with Stadia and that's going to get the ball rolling. So, yeah. Right. We'll be back next week, hopefully soon after E3
or like
ends.
the end of next week or whatever.
Yeah, probably end of next week.
Because I'm like busy with work and stuff. But some point soon we will record after all of E3 is done, all the festivities, after we've double checked all our information, watched all those dreadful Treehouse hours, and we'll have our reactions and comments, and we'll...
That's how they torture you, Josh. If you ever get captured, you're going to be tied to a chair and you have to watch all of the Treehouse people.
You're so right. But
it's just me, Sam, whispering in your ear softly, and like you can't quite make out what she's saying, but it's just interesting enough where you want to hear more. But
it's like the worst form of ASMR. I don't know. Just like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, we'll do our rankings, all that kind of stuff. That's all the post kind of stuff. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. Hopefully you have a good E3. And we will see you on the other side. Until next time, I've been Ken O'Connor.
I'm Josh Brandman.
And we'll see you guys in the next JK podcast. Bye-bye.
See ya.